Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about augmented reality clothing and some things I've learned after trying the Puma LQD Cell Origin AR shoes in the store a few days ago. I also made a review about the experience and you can find it out on my channel as well. Just search Puma or LQD Cell and you can see the videos of my first impressions and my review. Now if you look closely at those shoes, you can see there are markers over there, and those markers are used by the app in order to recognize those parts of the shoe, and then the developer can position virtual content on top of it, and this content can also be tracked as the user moves the shoe. Now one of the issues that I had with this is when I put the camera quite far away from this, it didn't pick up those markers, and this is because of the resolution of the camera, because at some point it does look like very small dots and it doesn't detect the pattern on the shoe. So what I'm saying this is, let's imagine that I walk with these shoes in the street, right, and I want people to see this effect. First of all, one thing need to take place. First of all, we need an app to be able to project this content, right? So people will need to wear some sort of maybe AR glasses, or use a mobile device and point it out onto the clothing item in order to be able to see the experience, right? Same like I do here. Now if I walk in the street and want other people to see my amazing augmented reality shoe, this of course won't be practical, because people need to launch a certain app in order to see my shoe, right? This effect on my shoe, and people just won't launch an app and point into random people in the streets, right? And even if many people use AR glasses and walk in the street, again, there's something related to the distance that I told you it is not able to register the markers, and of course you need to have an app that can recognize this. So the question is, are there any other solutions? The answer for this is actually yes. Right now, for example, if you use like Instagram, for example, Instagram filters, you probably know this, right? So when you use Instagram, it detects the user's face, and no specific user, it detects the face in general, the face structure, and then it can position virtual content on the face itself, and it doesn't matter which face, and of course you don't have any markers on yourself on your face. It just recognizes the structure of the face, and then it knows how to position the content. This means that the app can use machine learning in order to detect many variations of shoes and different type of clothing items. Let me give you an example. So this is WannaKicks by Wannabe. This is an augmented reality try-on shoes app, which allows you to try on different types of shoes on your own real legs. And this app uses machine learning, so it knows how to position the virtual shoe on your leg, and it doesn't matter, of course, which user uses it. It just recognizes legs, and then it can position the shoe on the leg itself. Now it's a bit jittery and doesn't work perfect, but I think you get the idea, right? So there is an option to recognize things, objects in the real world, and position virtual content related to their location, orientation, and size. This means that we don't necessarily need markers in order to place augmented reality content on certain parts of the body. You can even target the legs, the feet, we can target pants, we can target shirts, we can target the head area like we do with filters, Instagram filters, snapshot filters. Again, the degree of accuracy depends, of course, on the technology. Now, of course, in the future, we're gonna have in AR glasses, we're gonna have different sensors and, of course, more advanced algorithms that will allow us to deliver more consistent, accurate virtual reality projection experience on real-world objects and, of course, the human body. Until that happens, we can see that people right now are using some kind of markers on shirts and different accessory items in order to allow users to see that virtual content related to a specific, it can be a clothing part, or it can be an accessory, So again, this is something that the technology is available right now. It's very accessible, and then this is why many people use it. Now, as I mentioned, in order to see this, and for example, what you see here, those shoes on my legs, virtual shoes on my leg, you need an app, right? So the question is, if I, for example, walk in the street and I want somebody to see, some kind of a customization that I did to my body, to my shoe, to my pants, to whatever parts or anything that I'm wearing. So for this to happen, people will need an app for this. And I definitely see companies like Snapchat and Instagram, when AR glasses become more common and people use them, we're gonna see some kind of AR filters, but it's just for selfies and camera effects. We're gonna have this also specifically for clothing. This means that the app will need to be able to recognize all those clothing parts, for example, the pants, or if I'm wearing a shirt or a hat, or even accessories like earrings, bra, underwear, whatever, every type of clothing, it will be able to detect it, and then the AR filters will apply to those specific clothing parts. But there's kind of a problem with that, right? For example, let's imagine that you have a dress, right? That tons of different types of dresses, right? How are you gonna match the experience to specific dress, right? So there will be different types of experiences, and I assume that this will be something that will be quite common. Some of them will be able to run on almost any type of similar clothing type. For example, if it's pants and the app recognizes the structure of a pants, it will run on the pants. It doesn't matter which pant it is. Some, however, might be related to experience that for brands will run on certain clothing parts which are detected using an image recognition system. So the same technology that can actually recognize those unique patterns on the shoe can be used to recognize unique clothing design from maybe specific brands. This means that if I wear, for example, a hat, an Adidas hat, for example, all right, a specific hat, the app will be able to pick up this specific hat and apply the augmented reality experience to this specific hat, and not any other hats. Sorry. So if I'm a developer and I want to create a really cool kind of a general effect, like you have with faces, right? The effects works in any type of face, something that will work for any type of shoe. Like this one, I just want to light up shoes on fire. It doesn't matter which shoes you are wearing. You can be like sport shoes, it can be like boots, it can be anything. And this of course can be done because the app will be able to pick up the shoe structure and position the fire effect. This is just an example, a fire effect like this one that you see here on top of the shoe. Now the thing is that I personally don't like really just having a proprietary app for a single or even a few effects, right? This is the cool part of having social networks like Snapchat, like Instagram, that creators can create unique augmented reality filters, and you can see all of those hundreds and thousands of them using a single app. It definitely won't be practical, right, to change apps every time just to see things, people walking in the street and observe their augmented reality clothing and see their effect, their personal customized effect, right? About customization, I'm going to talk about it later on. This means that companies like Snapchat, Instagram are among those, also other popular augmented reality filter apps like Banuba, for example, are ones that are probably going to lead this augmented reality clothing trend because they're already very, very popular. They have a large user base, and this user base is already aware of those augmented realities, and they already have tools and platforms that allow developers to develop unique AR experiences for all those millions of people to use. Just think about it. The jump from the move from just face augmented reality filters to clothing, it's nothing, right? It can be done even tomorrow morning, right? It's just about developing something that works well, and maybe they are already working on something like this. Maybe Instagram introduces kind of a dedicated clothing SDK, and they're gonna kind of start it up with a big event where a few celebrities are going to wear some clothing, and then people will just need to point the device, what they usually do when they see celebrities, and see the augmented reality effect appear on their clothing, and can be something really great. And then of course maybe some brands are gonna cooperate with them, and it's gonna be like a big party, augmented reality party with kind of cool clothing, augmented reality effects. It's gonna be amazing. Now there's something important to understand here, is that one of the reasons face filters are so popular is because it's very easy to use for a single person just to point the device on himself or herself and share something, using those AR filters on their face. And it's very easy, right? Very accessible. The question is, how do you do it if you want to share something about your own other clothings? Like shoes is very easy because I just point the device down, as you can see here in this video, right? But if you want to share something about the pants, or a shirt, it won't be that easy, because then I need to kind of need a very wide angle lens in order to pick everything up. And right now, again, it's not something that is kind of easy to do, right? You're probably gonna need to ask a friend, please take a photo of me or a video of me, and in order to have a full body augmented experience shown to your followers on Instagram, whatever platform you use. Now this is something that while full body augmented reality experience aren't very popular right now, because most people just sometimes just on themselves, and they want to share things, right? You don't want to find people in order for them to take pictures and videos of you with augmented reality, and sometimes you just want some privacy when you do this, right? You feel kind of embarrassed doing things in front of the camera when other people are capturing a footage of you. So this is why when we have augmented reality glasses and become popular and people use them in the street, I'm not talking about at home, right? In the street, this is something that can be really cool, because then people can interact with your new augmented reality fashionable look, just crossing and just crossing the street and just glimpsing at you, and this will trigger something. So we might expect to have these types of augmented reality clothing experiences for Snapchat and Instagram on AR glasses, because this is the device where it actually be very practical to use this type of technology. So you can see this type of experience is kind of different because it was used to be seen by others, right? So it's not something that is easily shareable, by you, because again, you need to point the device on yourself. Of course, you will be able to do this, but again, I'm talking about full body augmented reality clothing experience. This is something that usually will be seen by others. Same like other people seeing your own clothes that you wear every day. But this time, instead of just seeing your regular clothes, they're gonna see them with the augmented reality experience itself. So this is an example. You see me? This is like example. Somebody just see me with those augmented reality virtual shoes, right? So I'm actually here just putting the device, the tablet, on the floor and taking a picture of myself. The reason I did it, because it wasn't comfortable for me to share, the experience by just pointing the device, from my hand downwards into my legs in order for people to see it, as you can see here. So it was natural for me to just position the device in another location, and then I was free to show people, how the shoes look from a person viewed in a third-person perspective. You're just prepared that if you made really something amazing, or you're using a clothing filter of some company People will just glaze at you, take photos of you with the mobile phone or with the AR glasses. They're probably going to be automatically, even you won't even know that they are taking photos of you, because they want to see, to share you with the clothing and see how amazing those looks on you. Now, it's not hard to understand the potential, the advertising potential for brands in this matter. So I definitely expect a lot of popular brands to create really unique clothing era experiences, because those can become viral very easily. Once, of course, AR glasses are more common, because as I told you, if you walk in the street right now and you have kind of AR clothing design, for example, like your shoes, making like those shoes available for you when you walk in the street and people can see it, people just won't point the device at you right now. It won't happen, right? Even if the app was available right now. So this type of features will probably be available once AR glasses become more common. Now, speaking of AR glasses, of course, Snap spectacles are probably the best contender for this, and it's probably going to happen very, very soon, right? Because the applicative solution might be available soon, because this might help, to sell more of their Snap spectacles, right? Because if people know that they can try out different AR filters for clothing, other people will try to want to buy those AR glasses in order to be able to enjoy this experience. Now, for all this amazing thing to happen, we needed AR glasses, and of course, because this is the most efficient, comfortable, and natural way to allow us to consume the augmented reality experience in a very natural and human-centric form. We don't want to point any camera to anyone. We just want to look around and see things while we are doing our other things, like we are walking in the street. And this can be amazing. And of course, we want to take some snapshots of amazing AR clothing without actually bothering people too much and sharing it with others. So this means that eventually we're going to see a lot of more images of other people on Instagram shared on social networks, because right now we are taking selfies, right? Tons of selfies, because it's all about our face and the experience around the face. But soon it's going to be our friends, the one in the street that wore this amazing custom AR costume. So it's going to see like a lot of picture take of other people, not necessarily us. So it's going to be like the opposite of the selfie. When you think about it, it's not that much different than what happens right now. Like when you walk in the street and see something really cool, you take a snap of it, right? Because you want to keep a memory of that amazing moment and you want to share it with other people. Now, I'm talking about clothing because I think this is something that brands will be motivated to enter into this area and be promoted and be advertising, and this type of field will self-promote itself quite fast. Having said that, you need to understand that when we are using virtual content on clothing, on the body itself, we can do anything we want. So this means that you can be transformed into a dragon, and you can have wings and stuff. So it's not just about casual clothing with cool augmented reality effects. It can be a complete transformation. So what this means? This means you're going in the street and going to see dragons, creepy creatures, whatever. Everything is possible. And you can also think that applying camera effects, you might walk in the street one day and you're going to live in a world of anime. People are going to appear cartoonish, the world will appear cartoonish. Just imagine, kind of an idea, right? Just think about making kind of an app, or maybe kind of, that turns the world into an anime, and people are going to create unique anime characters and just going to world and live in the world of anime. It's insane. And if you combine all this, right, with AR Cloud and the ability to transform the environment, you now understand why things are going to be completely different than they are now. Reality is going to change considerably for us. But let's go back just to clothing, just to keep ourselves a little bit insane, because the change is going to be huge. And probably people are kind of overwhelmed with all this. So, what do you think, right? I just wanted to share with you some, of my thoughts, just a few thoughts. And I'm going to probably create more videos of it because I wanted to share my own experiences and kind of my views about it. And by the way, my experience with the Puma shoe actually triggered out different kinds of ideas and thoughts that I didn't have until I actually tried those AR shoes myself. For example, for one moment I was really, I'm just used to use my phone to take use AR experiences and use Instagram, for example, to put some effects on my face. But this time, actually, I asked the seller, please, can you take a video of me? Why? Because I wanted to share something that looks like me, like myself, instead of just looking at my legs, which is kind of boring, right? So again, that's why I thought, things are going to look a bit different right now. I mean, it's not that going to have like a drone flying near you all the time with a camera, and you can just snap anything like this. Maybe it's not just a bad idea. Actually, maybe it's a bad idea. But if you want to have the option to take selfies of our body, we need to think about different solutions, right? What are the solutions out there that will enable us to do this? I don't know, maybe some drones will have AR support and will become popular, like small drones that you can use and take off. I don't know, but maybe there are going to be some really amazing innovation that will answer this. I don't know. So AR clothing, whatever technology will be used, whatever hardware or software, it's going to be really, really interesting, because next time you walk in the street, things are going to look different. Your clothes are going to look different, other people's clothing are going to look different, enhance, change is going to look very much different. So this is the Puma augmented reality shoes, is really a small glimpse of what we can expect in the future, right? And it looks amazing. As simple as it is, it looks amazing. It was really an amazing experience for me. I think it's also worth mentioning that augmented reality is already used in different retail stores. For example, this AR mirror, where you stand in front of the mirror, you get to see yourself wearing different types of clothing. So in this particular aspect, this works incredibly well. Why? Because you don't need anyone to ask anyone to point a camera at you so you can see yourself with the AR clothing. There's actually kind of a mirror where you can see yourself, and it projects the augmented reality content on your body. So where you are in the store, you don't need to actually try on the physical clothing. You can just try on the virtual ones. So in the future, you're going to walk in the street and you're going to look at the showcase window, and it's going to be like an augmented reality mirror there. Then you're just going to look at it and try out some clothing, virtual ones, without even need to go into the store, and just see how it looks on you. And if you like it, you go into the store and then you can try the physical ones and see if it fits you. So the same thing that you actually see yourself in the mirror with the virtual clothes, it's kind of the same experience, right? When you view someone else wearing virtual clothes. Now the main difference here is you don't need any specific hardware or software to view yourself with the virtual clothing. And if you search the web, you can find that there are plenty of 3D virtual fitting dressing rooms already available. Maybe there are one that are near you, in your area. Those virtual fashion mirrors are already there, and they're very useful because it allows you to try on different type of clothing without actually trying them on physically. But again, we are talking about here something similar and different, of course. Because those technologies are very similar, we can expect one of those leading companies who develop solutions for fashion mirrors for stores, retail stores, to bring something to AR glasses in the near future. In the next video, I'm going to talk about interactive clothing. Yeah, it's interesting. But we're going to cut off here because I'm going to talk about other things later. So this is it. This is an interesting topic that I'm continue thinking about more and more and more, because I think we are getting there really, really fast. And I want to hear what you think. Tell me your ideas, your thoughts, what you think. I'm sure you have great ideas in your head. And if you have no problem sharing this, by all means, let's open this to a discussion in the comment section below, and let's talk. Let's see, what do you think will happen in the future when it comes to augmented reality clothing? This is it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you soon on the next video. Bye everyone. Bye bye.